The stories you are about to hear are true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. It's time for the Presentation Detective. Chapter 1. The Meeting.
It was sometime after 6 when she turned up. The rain had started. Fat drops pelting the window in my office. Sounded like some kid was throwing rocks at it. I was polishing off a cold cup of coffee and trying to figure out an even colder lead when I heard the elevator. She walked into the office. Sensible heels, storm gray business suit, and a folder filled with confusion. You were probably expecting a blonde bombshell in a tight skirt and expensive Louboutin red high heels, but this isn't that case. As soon as she walked in, I could feel a storm brewing, and it wasn't outside. Her name was Clarity.
I need your help, detective. I lost them.
What did you lose? Or is that, who did you lose?
In a world where dull presentations are all too common, we're on a mission to help you transform your presentations from ordinary to extraordinary. Prepare to combat the mundane with insights that spark interest and ignite passion. Buckle up, because today's episode is packed with information that will make your presentations shine.
My audience? I lost my audience again. They got confused and keep drifting off when I was speaking. You know, checking their phones.
How often does this happen?
Most of the time, but I can't afford it anymore. My presentations are important to winning business. Can you take my case?
Well, that depends. You ever use metaphors or analogies in your presentations?
I think so. I don't know. Honestly, I can never tell them apart.
I grabbed the last ketchup potato chip from the bag on my desk. Okay, a crisp if you're in the UK, and chewed on it and nodded slowly. This wasn't the first time I'd seen a presenter lost in the fog. It wouldn't be the last.
Chapter 2. The Key Suspects.
We walked through the facts. First up, Lady Metaphor. She's a smooth talker, always implying, never explaining. She doesn't just describe things, she transforms them. Says a spreadsheet is a beast, or an idea is a seed. She doesn't bother with like or as. Too elegant for that. She just says this is that and lets your brain do the lifting.
She doesn't lead the horse to the water. She points to where it is.
Exactly. And when those horses get there, they drink, and don't even think about why. She gets in your head with imagery. She's sticky because she knows the brain loves pictures, emotion, and simplicity. She doesn't hand you the truth. She shows you a mirror and lets you recognize it for yourself.
And what's the other one?
That's Mr. Analogy. He's the methodical type, not poetic, practical. He lays it all out step by step, shows you the map, draws lines between unfamiliar and safe known ground. He'll tell you that a presentation is like a bridge, gets you from confusion to clarity. He doesn't just want you to feel it, he also wants you to understand it.
So he's more structured, more explanatory.
Bingo. An analogy is a metaphor with a manual. It walks the audience through the comparison, rather than throwing them into the deep end and hoping they swim.
Chapter 3. The Crime Scene.
She opened her folder, and I looked at the victim. A half-dead set of slides riddled with bullet points, complex graphs, and stock images of happy, smiling people. This must get you a lot of confused glances and yawns.
They're not remembering anything. The ideas are gone the moment I finish talking.
You didn't give them anything sticky. You gave them information, that's good. They're certainly expecting that. But what they also need is imagination and vision. You know, there's an old saying from a TV detective show in the 1960s. Just the facts, ma'am. But that saying doesn't work for sales presentations. You've got to give them more than just facts. She showed me some more slides and her presentation notes. I pointed to a slide about a new product. You say it's intuitive, fast, and efficient. But so what? That's just your opinion. What if you said, using our software is like a self-driving taxi. Just get in and tell it where you want to go. Now that's something they'll remember.
That's an analogy.
Right. Now let's find a metaphor to run through your whole presentation. Something simple but strong. Something they can carry with them.
What if I compared our product to a toolbox?
Good, I said. But remember, introduce the metaphor early, then touch it lightly throughout your time with your audience. Reference it when it makes sense, but don't hammer it into every slide and everything you say. Otherwise, it stops being helpful and starts being a gimmick. Gimmicks are boring.
Chapter 4. The Wrap-Up.
By the time Clarity left, her eyes were brighter, her voice steady. Metaphors and analogies had become her tools.
Metaphor is the poet, analogy is the teacher.
That's right. Use metaphor when you want to evoke an emotion. Use analogy when you want to explain something. And when you want to sell, use both. As Clary walked out of the office, a much more confident presenter, I heard the clack, clack, clack of a pair of expensive Louboutin red high heels. That would be my next case arriving. I poured myself another cup of cold coffee. I knew this next case was going to be a tough nut to crack. It would be like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. Oh, if you need some help with your next presentation, just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you? Just put your lips together and blow.
End case file. Metaphors and analogies. File under. Tools of persuasion. Level. Sticky. And that, dear friends, concludes this thrilling episode of Boring Don't Sell Radio. We've armed you with the tools to turn the mundane into the memorable. Remember, the art of presentation is in your hands. Join us again next time as we continue our quest to banish boring presentations. Until then, refuse to be boring. Joe's book, Boring Don't Sell, is available on Amazon. For coaching, consulting, or creating in presentation design or delivery, contact Joe via email at joepops@refusetoBeBoring.com.